So these folks are with a large real estate firm called CBRE, based in Los Angeles, and they've come from their regional offices in DC and Virginia and Tysons, and all come here today to Spring Meadows to help with this great rehabilitation project. So thank you for your great work today.
You're very welcome.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. You're very welcome. It's great.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
You
Thanks
too.
for coming out. Good to see you, Barbara. This is Barbara Cupp, the head of Rebuilding Together. She's our host today out here in Spring Meadows to show us around this great project.
Yep. So I know that you know some of what's going on. Do you know how any of this started?
Nope.
Okay.
I'd love to hear it.
Oh, it's a great
So would
story.
Mike.
It's a great story. I was in training all last year in some of the best national training there is for NeighborWorks and all of that for how to do whole neighborhoods. So we've been here in the county for 26 years. We've renovated. Let's go this way. We've renovated over 570 single-family homes, put over $11 million back into Anne Arundel County.
Amazing.
In retail value, but it wasn't making the impact that we wanted to make. We weren't, still get who. So we've actually began a neighborhood revitalization program. And we are not dropping our scattered sites, we're just augmenting our program. And then our board voted to do that January 11th. February 5th, I talked to Pete Smith and said, do you have a neighborhood? And I gave him all the requirements.
Yeah.
They have to be ready for change. They have to be willing to maintain anything we do. They have to work with me on social change, not just the physical change.
Right.
And he said, yes, I have a neighborhood ready to go. So I met with the Homeowners Association and many of the residents, and this is truly a resident-driven initiative. The items that you see being done are items that the neighborhood needed.
That's fantastic.
It's creating a safe and healthy neighborhood, and so when you see the scope, you'll realize each item checks that block.
So how many different projects are part of the effort here in this
So
neighborhood?
we have 5 major items going
So
on.
5 items, including the basketball?
Well, no,
me.
the basketball court is actually not one of them. That's just our staging
Okay,
area.
so what are the 5?
So we had, this used to be, this morning, this was completely grown over.
This beautiful park area was
You-
grown over?
And you couldn't see
Wow.
the playground.
Wow.
In fact, the Anne Arundel County Police were here this morning to help us with this effort. They had several officers here, and they just said when they saw this, they're like, thank you.
Well, it's
'Cause
beautiful.
we can now see.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Well, now they actually have line of sight.
Right.
So that's a toddler playground,
Yeah.
but you couldn't come out. There was no benches, so mom never sat or came out. And of course, it was too laden with trash. You
Right,
did not bring your
right.
child anyway. All the trash is cleared. All the brush is cleared. It is now about 3 times larger than it was earlier today.
Yeah, yeah.
The grass is all mowed. They are now laying a barbecue pit and picnic benches, so families can come out and gather.
Yeah, what a great place for a picnic. That's beautiful over
Isn't
there.
that? And
Gorgeous.
trust me, it wasn't this morning.
It sounds like it.
And there were you could not see inside of all of that. That was just completely grown over.
Wow. A lot of work.
A lot of work.
I understand you had maybe 130 volunteers out here
I think
today?
we had almost 200.
Almost 200 volunteers.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So over 100 from the military, active duty, believe it or not.
Great.
And then the 100 from the CBRE.
I just met a number of CBRE
Yes, you did.
people
Yes,
from
wonderful.
Virginia and DC
Yes,
and
yes.
Tyson's Corner
Yes,
and
very-
Rockville, all
Very-
over.
And there are actually several from Anne Arundel County. They just didn't
Great.
happen to meet them. A lot of them drove. We do have buses for them, for the ones
Yeah.
who are farther away, but a lot of the Anne Arundel County people.
Wow. Where are you based, Barbara? Where's your
We're offices over in Severna Park.
sort of park?
Yep.
Great.
Yep. So
And how long have you been operating in Anne Arundel County?
26 years.
26 years. That's a good run.
Consecutively. So we've never had a year off. So the other bigger issue was the standing water, because it would film over and mosquitoes and rats
Right,
and
sure,
all of that.
sure.
So they're fixing the last spot over there coming down the hill, but the larger one was over by the pool,
Yeah.
between the pool and the neighbors, because it actually was standing to the point of this.
Oh my.
And there was
that's a
nothing you
breeding
could do. And so Bob Eitel from Land Design came in, did a professional plan.
Yeah.
They dug a 180-foot trench. It's massive.
Drained it.
And drained it, put in the pipe, and there's 15 tons of gravel still to be laid.
That's
So-
what I call draining the swamp.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And the pool house has a concession stand, and it was dilapidated and in need. So we came in. It's being painted.
Fantastic.
Bottom of fridge.
So how many days will this whole
It's done.
effort take? One day.
One day. The only other
One
thing.
giant day of
one giant
incredible
day.
energy.
Yes. The only other thing is the dog park. We laid the posts today. There's 54 posts.
Okay.
And we'll come in next week and just string the wire. You know,
Okay.
like stretch
So
the
one little mop-up day next week and you're done.
Right, because we also the
That's an
barbecue.
amazing amount of work in one day.
I know. You should have seen it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I walked into there was a huge shed, and I mean almost like a house size. Small. You could drive a car into it.
Yeah.
That's how big the shed was. Well, very well constructed with trusses and roof,
Yeah, yeah.
and the bottom was rotting out, and it's literally in the pool,
Yeah.
like literally where the pool is. So it had to come down, get chopped up, and put into the hopper. And Pete Smith came in, and an hour and a half later, I went to go ask a question, and the whole thing was done, gone. and
Fantastic.
It was awesome.
Great.
So we got it done. A lot got done today.
Nice work. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're very happy.
Of the 200 volunteers, how many of the volunteers were actual residents of the community that pitched in to help?
That's a good question. We deliberately didn't want them. One, they work. This is a hard-working neighborhood. They weren't here. All the cars you see are our volunteers.
Oh, okay.
The neighbors were actually gone at work. Their job, and they know it, we've had 4 months of meetings with them, they have to maintain
Take
it.
care of it. Maintain it.
And they knew that. I mean, they knew that this wasn't me, this is not a Barbara Cup initiative, this is a resident-driven initiative.
Right.
These are things they needed, and we said we would come and help facilitate. But there's bigger things. They've all agreed to go to neighbor watch training with the police. They've agreed to come in with job training and job fairs. We're working with the Red Cross on fire and home safety training.
Great.
And home maintenance training. So it's a lot of, it's 50-50, social change and physical change.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does. It doesn't do you any good to come and do physical change if it just goes back the way it was yesterday.
Give a man a fish or teach a man to fish.
Exactly. That's what we're doing.
Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks. So do you want to see some of it?
Please.
The concrete is setting, and they're going to, oh, they've already set the tables. I don't know where they found the chain, but they did. So literally you could not walk in here at all. I mean, like there was, you could never go from here to there, and you wouldn't want to if you could.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got these beautiful paths. They're going to come finish, I don't know if you can see, there's a ton of topsoil. They're going to come lay some of that topsoil in here. And now you can actually get to the park.
This is the standing water.
Standing water, and what happens is it comes down the hill and then it pools right here. So they need to make it lower over there. And then they're taking what they dig out and putting it around the tree because the tree roots were starting to show. Oh my gosh, yes, awesome. Oh my gosh, why couldn't we done that?
So we're here in front of a major part of this project here in Spring Meadows. Barbara, why don't you tell us what exactly is going on here?
Well, this used to be an enormous amount of standing water to the point of about half a foot, sometimes more, and it had completely greened over, and it was a hazard for rats and mosquitoes, and it had to be mitigated. So Bob Eitel with Land Designs came in with a professional design plan, and we're here executing it now. It included 180 feet of trench digging at a certain angle, laying the pipe, and after the pipe is laid, it now has to have the gravel laid in over it. When this is done, this whole area will now be mitigated.
Come on. All right, you're good. High and dry, no mosquitoes.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Safe and healthy neighborhood.
Right here, sir. Right
So that goes actually all the way down around the whole housing and down the far side.
Beautiful.
I'll show you the courthouse.
Exactly. Just gotta...
So the HOA is in need of funds. And the best way to give them funding was to help them use the concession stand. So we cleaned and fixed the concession stand room. This had been completely rotted out, so we're replacing it completely. And then we're coming in with a 17, 18 cubic foot refrigerator so they can sell.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
it's sanitary and clean. So they have this beautiful pool, and at the back over there,
Jeff, I think my ride's leaving, man. It was great working with you today. Thank you.
that huge shed
Be well.
was right there where you see it.
Yeah, okay.
And all done.
Goodbye, shed.
Yes, well, it really was a hazard. I mean, seriously, it was dangerous. So we came in.
Now, these are all private residences? in this
Yes,
area?
yes. Well, you mean homeowner owned? It's about
Or
60-40 renters. Yeah.
60-40 rent no?
Owners 60, renters
60, rent 40.
Yes, yes, yes.
But none of it's public. As far as I know.
No,
Okay,
and then it's there's third that have either worked at Fort Meade, currently work at Fort Meade, or are prior service.
I see.
So I think I've talked to a lot of people in the area who've heard of this neighborhood, and there's a misconception that somehow this is, you know, Section 8 or any of that. This is a wonderful neighborhood. These are people who deserve help, who are asking for help, and are willing to make change happen. You know, I love going to meetings where you get the neighbors and they're like, yes, yes, you know, whatever I'm saying I need them to do, they're like, yes, we'll do that. So
That's awesome.
it is awesome. It is.
Well, Barbara, thank you for your
Thank
good work
you.
and thank you for the tour.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Oh, I have a citation for you.
Thank you.
This citation is intended to commemorate the great comeback for this neighborhood. This neighborhood, 310 units, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Back before the real estate crash, had an average home value approaching $220,000 per home. After the crash, values had sunk down to $60,000 per home. That hurt a lot of people financially, put many people underwater. It's come back a bit. With Barbara's efforts with Rebuild, together are making it come back even further. And in recognition of her great work, we have a citation from Anne Arundel County that reads, "The citizens of Anne Arundel County, Maryland salute Rebuilding Together in Anne Arundel County. In recognition of your tireless efforts and selfless service to the citizens of Anne Arundel County, we're pleased to salute your demonstrated commitment and your outstanding dedication to our communities." Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.